In the beginning, Kraak was just me and Johan. Johan, he quit 6 years ago, and then we started quite early with the Kraak Festival. I think the second year already we did one in Ruis, and then the second edition was immediately 3 days. It was far too big for us to handle, but we managed. Then it became just a 1-day festival, 14 bands on 1 day. We always try to find new bands and like new scenes, and we present them or try to present them for the first time in Belgium or Europe. And that's what we focus on mostly now. It's doing events and all over Belgium, so we don't have a fixed venue. We just do wherever we think it might fit.
I started with the project Keun back in 1998, I believe. Sort of inspired by a couple of records I heard. One was Improvisers by Microstoria, and another one was Parrot by a band called Germ. Playing around with all sorts of electronics, analog synthesizers, broken CD players and stuff. And started to develop a sort of experimental electronic loop-based minimal music. Well, well, actually, after releasing that double album, I sort of got stuck in that sense that I didn't really. I felt stuck in going further in those digital and sonic explorations I did. All of a sudden, I realized that I had tons and tons of VST plugins on my computer. Loads of them were replicas of old synthesizers that I've always wanted to play around with when I was a kid, when I started making music. And then I realized, like, okay, now I have all the tools, why don't I just work a little bit on all the things, the ideas I had when I started making music, and see if it is any fun. And so that's how I ended up with the old electronic music makers like Jean-Michel Jarre and Klaus Schulze and amongst others, and I try to incorporate that sort of naive and first love for electronic music with the whole parcours I did in those 20 years since I started making music.
So good that they offered me a job. So I've been involved for 3 years now, I think. I'm not sure, something like that. Together with Tommy, I worked as a volunteer before that. Actually, it was Glenn who introduced me to Kraak, and he offered me the traineeship. I used to play in Sylvester Anfang, but I quit. Now I play in a new band.
And what's that called?
Richting Huiswaarts.
And are you offering it to Kraak for a release, or?
No, probably not. I'm offering it to Still Breeze.
But Ruis, it's like it gives a bit an image here on what we were busy with. Interviews with bands we like, or records we enjoy, overviews, interviews, some reviews. It's a local agenda with stuff we like and the stuff we do.
I think 10 years ago, when I met Johan and Peter, and we started drinking beers and hanging out, and that's how I got involved with it.
Through music?
What?
Through music?
Through music and beer. Depends on the day. Sometimes it was music, sometimes it was beer.
And now you have a solo album coming out.
Yeah, there's a solo album coming out in Prague. It's called A Lunatic.
And what's your solo artist name?
Halfeet. It's called The Heck, and I'm Halfeet.
And you're listening to...
You're listening to WFM here.
How long have you known Kraak, dude?
Since probably 2004, probably since I got here. Like since we moved to Belgium, I've been like my first real encounter with Kraak and everything was like at the 2004 festival, or was it? Maybe it was 2005. I'm not sure. It was the one that that Smegma played the last act. Yeah, that was the first time I was at a Kraak festival.
When did the album you did for Kraak come out?
I think maybe a year ago even. I think during the summer it came out, I'm not sure. But yeah. It still feels like it was like yesterday that it came out.
And this is the stuff you used to record it, or?
No, not really. It's like I recorded that album with Willem, with one of the band members from Sylvester Anthem, and he has this analog synth and stuff, and he like pretty much introduced me to that whole to all those sounds and all that stuff. So after recording that album with him, I mean, recorded like guitars and recorded on this 4-track cassette recorder. After doing that, I just got really into those sounds and got one myself. You know, it's a bit more limited than his, but yeah.
The Kraak label, it's split it up in like an edition series, which is vinyl only, and more for like international names. And the Kraak label itself, it's we focus on Belgians, like new talents, and so most of the records came up just on Kraak, and we started I think 3 years ago with the edition series. So the David Watson Ronaldo release will come out on the edition series. It grows steadily, but it's a work of years and years. So we try to do the best every day.
But sometimes.